Welcome to Storytime for Home Time with me, James Mayhew. Today I'm going to read you one of the Ella Bella stories. And this one is the very first one. It's called Ella Bella and the Sleeping Beauty. Now, in all the Ella Bella stories, there is a magical musical box. And just behind me, I have a magical musical box. Would you like to see it? I thought you would. Follow me. Here it is, this beautiful old red box. This is almost 100 years old. And inside, it's a kind of machine called a gramophone. There's a turntable on top that spins round, so I need a record. These records are very old and very hard. At the front, there's a handle. I need to wind it up. And in here is a very sharp needle, which only plays one or two records. So I need to get a new needle out of here and put it in. They're very sharp, so I have to be careful. And now I can take off the brake. Here comes some music. Ella Bella loved Madame Rosa's ballet class at the old theatre. The lessons were always fun. Ella Bella's favourite part was when they danced to the music from Madame Rosa's marvellous musical box. One day, Madame Rosa said, "My darlings, let us listen to the music from the Sleeping Beauty Ballet. I want you all to imagine you are fairies." Madame Rosa opened the box and sparkly music filled the air. The little ballerina inside the box began to twirl, and Ella Bella and her friends danced like pretty fairies. "Please tell us the story of Sleeping Beauty," said Ella Bella. "Well," said Madame Rosa, "her name was Princess Aurora, and she was born in a fairy tale palace. Princess Aurora's christening was a joyous event. Good fairies gathered and bestowed gifts of beauty and grace. But then, disaster! The bad fairy arrived. Furious not to be invited to the palace, she cast an evil spell. On her 16th birthday, Aurora would prick her finger on a spindle and die." "How terrible!" gasped the children. "Ah, but the kind lilac fairy still had a gift to give," smiled Madame Rosa. She changed the spell so that Aurora wouldn't die, but would sleep for 100 years, only to be woken by a prince's kiss. "And did the prince come?" asked Ella Bella. "My dear, there isn't time for the whole story today," smiled Madame Rosa, closing the musical box. "It's nearly home time." The other children went to get their coats, but Ella Bella stayed behind on the stage. When she was quite alone, Ella Bella opened the musical box. Just like magic, the music started, and Ella Bella found she was dancing. The music seemed to surround Ella Bella. Then a tiny lilac light lit the musical box. It grew brighter and brighter until Ella Bella saw a fairy floating towards her. "I'm the lilac fairy," she smiled. "Shall we go?" "Go where?" gasped Ella Bella. "To Princess Aurora's 16th birthday party, of course," said the lilac fairy. The Lilac Fairy led Ella Bella into a palace garden, and there was Princess Aurora. As she danced, everyone agreed she had grown to be the most beautiful princess they'd ever seen. But then an old woman shuffled out of the shadows with a gift for Aurora, a spindle. Ella Bella remembered the bad fairy's spell. "Don't touch it," she called. But Aurora didn't hear. She graciously took the spindle and danced. Suddenly, she pricked her finger. Aurora's dance became faster and faster until she fell to the floor. The old woman threw off her cloak. It was the bad fairy. She vanished in a flash before anyone could catch her. "Carry Aurora to the tallest tower," said the Lilac Fairy sadly. "There she will sleep for 100 years. "But what about everyone else?" wondered Ella Bella. "We'll put a spell on them too," whispered the Lilac Fairy. Ella Bella took the Lilac Fairy's hand, and they began to fly. It was like dancing in the air. They sprinkled a spell over the whole palace. And soon everyone had fallen asleep. Roses began to grow up the tallest tower where Aurora slept, and around the palace a magic forest grew. "When will the prince come?" asked Annabella. "Will we have to wait 100 years too?" The Lilac Fairy laughed. "Not with a little more magic." And as she waved her wand, 100 years raced by. Ella Bella saw they were now in another kingdom. A dashing prince was riding towards them. The Lilac Fairy told him the sad tale of Princess Aurora asleep in the tower. "Will you help her?" asked Ella Bella. "Of course," said the prince. "It would be an honour." "We'll show you the way," said Ella Bella. They led the prince to a magic forest. He slashed through the rose briars with his gleaming sword. Even though the thorns tore at him, he didn't stop until he found Aurora's tower. Gently, he kissed Aurora, and slowly, softly, she opened her eyes and smiled. It was love at first sight. As soon as Aurora awoke, the magic forest vanished and the whole palace leapt back into life. "I love it when my spells work," said the Lilac Fairy. "Let's take a peep at their wedding." What a wedding it was! There was music and feasting with guests from all corners of the fairy tale kingdom. "Thank you for your help," said the Lilac Fairy. "Now they'll live happily ever after." "Thank you for a magical time," said Ella Bella. The Lilac Fairy lifted her wand once more, and the palace was filled with lilac light and swirling music. Then, suddenly, the music stopped, and Ella Bella found herself alone on the dark stage. She gently closed the lid of the musical box. "There you are," said Madame Rosa, giving Ella Bella her cape. "Your mamma is waiting." "Can we listen to your musical box next time?" asked Ella Bella. "Of course," said Madame Rosa. "We'll play a different tune, shall we?" "I'd like that," said Ella Bella. And humming as she went, Ella Bella danced with her mamma all the way home. Well, that's the end of the music and the end of the story. I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on Storytime for Home Time. Bye.